Good evening and welcome to this week in review. Tonight's stories include 28th Annual Fireman's Ball, update on the school recycling program, SJCH students take part in the 30-hour famine. These stories plus community events, the VBS Playbill, Off the Rack and more coming up after this.
This is the place where the dawn breaks earliest, the new year comes soonest, where the Atlantic first meets the New World, the oldest city in North America, the far east of the Western world. Imagine that.
On Saturday, April the 6th, we were invited to the 28th Annual Fireman's Ball. MC for the evening, Stan Kosser, invited Fire Chief Glenann to begin the evening with the Fireman's Prayer. Mrs. Elsie Rose said the blessing over the cold plate dinner. While everyone was enjoying their dessert, MC Stan introduced the Ed Table guests.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the 28th Annual Fireman's Ball. And at this time I'd like to introduce the Ed Table. Starting from my right. We have, I guess, the assistant captain. I think he filled in when the other ones are gone. Calvin Ayer and his wife, Alice. And we have Tom Phillips as well. John Luther and his wife, Alice. We have home captain, Jim Ayer and his wife, Diane. Secretary Treasurer, Lake Mead, wife, Meredith.
Gonna take the toad out yet?
Team Captain Robert Sims, wife Gloria. Welcome back, Robert.
Thank you.
Team Captain Larry Hand, wife Nita. At least let you call me. We have the Inspecting Officer Dave Dillard, wife Divvy. Training Officer Levi Rose, wife Elsie. Second Deputy Chief Bruce Green, wife Cynthia. The First Deputy Chief Lloyd James, wife Yvonne. Chief Lynn Ann and his wife Laura, who is also present for her. Deputy Mayor Scott Linehan, his wife Pam. MP Honorable Calvin Parsons and his wife Donna. He's been my better ass. River Pearl would make it. She did give it a clue. The Grab Town Manager Joe and his wife Diane. Constable Ron Caldwell and his wife Louis. And we have the Fire Chief of Red River, Chief Elton Young, and his wife Young. Jury table.
Deputy Mayor Scott Linehan brought greetings from the town. Chief Glenn presented the department's year-end report.
Deputy Mayor Linehan, Mr. Calvin Parsons, Mr. Caldwell, our MP, councilors, Ed Table guests, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our 28th Annual Fireman's Ball. During the year 2001, the Burgess Fire Department held 28 regular training drills. We had 11 business meetings. We responded to 9 emergencies. They were 2 chimney fires, 1 electrical fire, 2 grass fires at the dump, 1 oil fire, 1 light pole fire, 2 brush fires on the Burgess Road. We had training each Thursday night throughout the summer. Some nights there was a good turnout, while some other nights there weren't as many people, but there was always something down there at the far off. The crew that was on call checked all the equipment before they went in on the drills, make sure the holiday equipment was working properly, and if something was wrong, we would get it fixed, or call someone who could give us instructions on how to fix it. Some of the activities that we were involved in over the past year were students from Grey River came to visit the fire hall. The preschool children visited the fire hall twice. We held fire drills at the school and at the hospital. We visited the seniors' home and spoke to them about fire prevention. We laid a wreath on Remembrance Day. 2 members and their wives attended the Hangyo Fire Convention in Maryland Mountains. We took part in the Hangyo Santa Claus Parade. We held breakfast with Santa. We catered to different groups such as the teachers. We had various fundraising efforts such as ticket sales and wake-a-thon. We had 2 hockey pools. Our honorary members took part in some things as well. Our honorary member, Kid Anderson, cut the cake on Canada Day. Honorary member Leonard Matthews was nominated for the Volunteer Medal of the Year award by the government, and he won in this district. Fire Prevention Week again, some of our members went around to the stores and passed out pamphlets on fire prevention. We held a car wash in aid of MD. We took part in the Hangyo Lions Winter Carnival dart game. We helped a fisherman refloat his boat that had sunk. In closing, I would like to thank the council for their efforts in supporting us throughout the year and doing whatever is possible to help us. Mr. Kelvin Parsons for the government portion of the funds needed to purchase bunker gear for the fire department. Our honorary members for always being there whenever we need their assistance. The hospital for looking after our fire phone and pager system. The businesses and the general public for their continued support. The Burnetts who do a tremendous job to help firemen through their fundraising, and they help keep firemen warm. Also to the firemen's wives who are not Burnetts, we'd like to thank you as well. Mr. Leslie Hiscock, who have been doing up the hockey pool for years. Mr. Jim Marsden for putting out the first aid CPR course at no charge for his time. Last but not least, I would like to thank the officers and firemen of this department that keep everything going, that kept everything going throughout the summer while I was away working in Nova Scotia. In my opinion, they do a tremendous job in fire protection of this town. Last year, we were fortunate enough to get 5 new members, although one got out, we still hung on to 4. At no time is a good time for a fire, especially on a stormy night when some people say, well, I'd rather be on the inside looking out than being on the outside looking in this weather. There have been times when we have been out trying to save someone's property. A lot of times this goes unnoticed to the people, but the people that's involved don't forget. This is often mentioned a lot of times when we're fundraising and looking for donations. Some people have phoned different firemen and offered a donation for a fireman to come and pick it up and to say thank you again. Since the downturn of the fishery, there have been times when we have been down in manpower, but the members that have been around town have been on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, rain or shine. I'd like to thank you.
Burnett Cynthia Green read the Burnett's yearly report and presented the department with a $2,000 check. Fireman Robert Sims gave a toast to the spouses. Speakers for the evening included MHA the Honourable Kelvin Parsons, Constable Ron Caldwell, and Lloyd Walters. A moment of silence was observed for the deceased members. Next on the agenda was the presentation of awards. Chief Glenn and Deputy Chief Lloyd presented members with attendance plaques for Team Number 1. The first place went to Brent Porter. Second place went to Terry McDonald. For Team Number 2, first place went to Calvin Eyre. And Ben Green took second place. The Fireman Appreciation Award went to Clayton Meade. The department also received messages from Lynn and Jesse Matthews, Dave and Ann Gilbert, and MP Bell Matthews, all of whom were unable to attend. Deputy Mayor Linehan presented Years of Service Awards on behalf of the town. Brent Porter and Raymond Green received an appreciation certificate, lapel pin, and a badge for 1 year of service. Lapel pin for 2 years of service went to John Coley. 3-year service lapel pin went to Brian Sims. Clyde Marsden received a 4-year lapel pin. For 5 years of service, Terry McDonald was presented a lapel pin and a plaque. Writing pin sets and lapel pins went to Belle Standing, Guy Ann, and Lloyd James for 10 years of service. For 15 years of service, Jim Hare was presented a wall clock and a lapel pin. For 25 years of service, Clayton Meade was presented a gold watch and a lapel pin from the town. Mr. Meade also received a certificate from MP Bell Matthews and MHA Calvin Parsons on behalf of the federal and provincial government. Presentations concluded with the Grey River Fire Chief presenting the Burgeo Fire Department with appreciation certificate for all their help with training the Grey River Fire Department. This part of the evening ended with return thanks by Elsie Rose. A dance followed. On Tuesday of this week, the fire department responded to a fire call. At approximately 6:40 p.m. on Tuesday, the volunteer fire department was called to the residence of Mr. Austin Green. The cause of the fire was electrical. Thankfully, Mr. Green had a fire under control by the time the fire department arrived. Mr. Green had a fire extinguisher close at hand and used it to put out the fire. Excellent job, Mr. Green. We spoke to Fire Chief Glenn Ann. He told us that the department was very pleased that this resident had the proper equipment on hand. The outcome may have been much worse if they were not prepared. The fire chief went on to say that having fire extinguishers and smoke detectors in our home can save property and lives. He also stated that even if you have the right equipment and manage to get the fire under control, you should still call the fire department for assistance, even if it's a precautionary measure. When it comes to fires, you can never be too careful. On Thursday, another fire call came in. This time, a truck was on fire at the ball field. When we arrived, the fire department had the fire under control. The fire was reported at approximately 12:35 p.m., and at 1 p.m. the fire was extinguished. This battlefield equipment rental truck out of Port-aux-Basques was coming into town on business when the driver noticed flames in the back of the truck. He pulled over in this parking lot and called the fire department. As you can see, the truck has been destroyed. The fire was caused by arcing from some batteries in the back of the truck, causing some oily, flammable material to ignite. After the fire was out, the driver, with the help of the fire department, salvaged some of the items on the truck. Once again, our volunteer fire department came to the rescue. Thanks, guys. The fire department are currently looking for some new members. If you think you may enjoy this type of volunteer work, just call Glenn Ann and join the Burgeo Volunteer Fire Department. On Thursday of this week, we spoke to Principal of the high school, Mr. Scott Linehan, about the recycling program. Good afternoon, Mr. Linehan.
Good afternoon, Ms. Rose.
Thanks for speaking with us.
You're welcome.
One of the topics of discussion for today is your recycling program. That's a new program that you've started. How is it going?
It's been very successful. We started, I spoke, I think, about this, I guess about a month and a half ago, 6 weeks ago, and I've asked the community to embrace the project. It's cost-free. We don't have to knock on any doors. We don't have to ask for any money. And if anyone's been watching the news as of late, the Minister of Environment, Kevin Aylward, recently appointed, they're having a big drive to clean up our environment. And from what I understand, of all the recycling items that we throw in the garbage, only 10% are actually being used for recycling. 10%. So that still leaves 90% we're not using. So with specific to our school, we started at the end of March sometime, the middle of March, and we've been quite successful. I'm very proud to say that our school, K-12, have raised $352.45 in recycling. So the government will match that dollar for dollar. So that works out to about $705 for our school. And that money is certainly going to help offset some travel for the kids, maybe in the primary elementary grades. There's probably some resources Ms. Benoit's talking about acquiring for the kids. So it's there for accessibility for the K-12 students, and I'm really, really grateful and thankful that everybody's embraced it as well as they have. And just as a reminder to everybody, it's Fridays. We bring in the recycling to the school. Mel Bullard parks his truck here at the door, and people just throw the recyclables right into the back of the truck. And if some people have a problem bringing a lot in on Friday, they can bring it in during the week and just lay it in the porch or in the green receptacles around the school. So again, I want to thank everybody. Keep up the hard work, and it's only garbage, so it's not costing anybody any money, and the school and ultimately the students get the benefit from it. So I'd like to thank everybody and encourage everyone to continue on.
Okay, now you also gave us a notice today's Thursday, for your community channel about your early Friday dismissal.
Right.
So that didn't go quite as well as you thought. Can you comment on that?
Sure, I'd love to. As all the parents are aware, and certainly by now, that we surveyed the parents, and we were just interested in seeing how many people would be interested in having an altered Friday schedule. In Aldermort, they get out 25 minutes early, a half hour early on Fridays. And in Port aux Basques, they get out 2:20 every day, and in St. George's area, again, they get out at 2:30 every day. So it's one that we tried last year for about 6 weeks at the high school level. 72% of the high school students thought it was very enjoyable and wanted to see it, if we could look into it again this year, which we did. And we'd like to see it for everyone from K to 12. So we surveyed the parents, and we got back to return rate, as probably everyone sees on BBS. We got back 70% in favor and 30% not in favor. Having considered that, the 30% who were not in favor was some very, very legitimate concerns, and one that concerns both myself and as a principal and both the school board. It was never intended to cause any financial difficulties for anybody and to cause any inconvenience or hardship for anybody. So with some parents working and not being able to be home at the earlier lunch hour, we thought it was probably at this time prudent that we just continue on as usual and with the normal Friday schedule. And it's something that would merit further discussion down the road if climate or situation changes, whereby it takes a second look. But we had 80% return rate of the surveys, and people made their opinions clear, and I'm very happy that they returned it and let us know how they feel about the issue. And as it stands now, even though we set the mandate at 2/3 or 67%, which was met with 70%, there were still some very, very legitimate concerns with regard to the early lunch hour. And with those in mind, and speaking with the school board office, we thought it would probably be prudent to certainly consider those very heavily. And we didn't want to cause any inconvenience to anybody. And so at this time, we decided we'll leave it at that. And in the future, if it comes up again, we'll certainly, I know me personally, I'll be glad to look at it again. But in the meantime, we'll leave the school day as per normal.
Continuing with that subject, now you do have a majority. You had 70% agreeing and approximately 30% not agreeing. How does the students feel about that when we're in a society where majority rules?
Yeah, that was a concern that was brought forth. It's one that I brought forth to the school board office, one that the teachers and I have discussed. And in a truly democratic society, we want 70%, a clear majority, and it's clearly spoken. But weighing that against the best interest of the students and the parents of this school. We're in a system that currently works. It works for everybody. Everybody's familiar with it, and it doesn't cause any problems for anybody. And as an administrator, I think it would not be in the best interest of the students, of all the students, as a totality, to alter schedules that would negatively impact some people. And I don't think that's probably in their best interest. So, yeah, it's true that clearly in a democratic society, 70% is a clear majority, but we have to weigh that against the 30% who have a serious misgivings about an altered Friday. And, the current system works. It works well. There's no problem with it. And it was just something to see if it merited further discussion, and maybe down the road, who knows, perhaps we can look at it again.
So your students are pretty comfortable with that and with the reasoning that you gave them?
Well, you know, 72% voted in favor of looking at it again, and so there was still 28 of the high school body who didn't want to do it. And so, you know, that again, we have to look at, there's also parents involved, there's people's work involved, and of course, when you have to pay for babysitters, there's financial consideration involved. So all those things have to be weighed heavily.
Okay.
And that point was not lost on me, it was not lost on the school board office, and so we considered all that when we made this decision.
Now this year the survey included both schools. Last year it was done on a trial basis with just the high school, right?
Right.
Okay.
So K to 12, every
Okay.
parent was given a survey.
Okay.
One survey per family.
Now your third term reports are going out. It's getting close to the end of the year.
Yes, amazing.
How are things working out?
Well, things are going well. The students may become a bit of a shock when I came back from Easter and told them that there's, as they watch this broadcast, there's going to be 34 school days left. I mean, you know, until they write their first final exam. So 34 school days is not a lot of time, which may involve about 20 classes. So at this time, and we have a third term report coming out on Tuesday, and open house beginning on Wednesday at 2:30. So we'd encourage parents to come by and drop by the school and check with their teachers. We don't have times scheduled to go home at this time as we do in our normal term reports, because this is not usually a heavier turnout. So we'd encourage parents to come by if they like on Wednesday at 2:30 and discuss their child's progress. You know, we're just on the heels of a February report, so most people already know where their child stands. But if they have any questions or concerns, then they can address them at that time. And I guess while I'm on the topic, parents may also see that the school was successful in acquiring a tutor for 6 weeks at 35 hours a week until public exams are written. And this tutor is funded through the Post-Secondary Education Initiative, $300,000 for the province. So our school managed to get one tutor, and we're hoping and we're looking for somebody to tutor people who are going to write public exams in June. So if there's any post-secondary student who's interested in that, I would encourage them to apply. The deadline is Wednesday, April 24th, and drop their names along or their resume along to me so that I can have a look and we can make a decision. It's certainly a worthwhile project, and it's worthwhile to note also that if they are successful, this will not hinder their chance at future employment with regard to other employment opportunities that may be ongoing Burgeo this summer. So if anyone who's interested, they should forward their name along to me.
Okay. So what you're saying is if they try for this tutor position, they can still try for any SWASP or challenge or whatever program happens to come up during the summer.
Exactly.
Okay.
The successful applicant won't be negatively impacted
Okay.
by future employment opportunities. Yeah.
Now, it's getting towards the end of the school year, and usually around this time is when the boards decide staffing rules and regulations, if there's going to be more staff, less staff, this is going to be taken away, that's going to be added. Have you got any comments about that?
Yeah, this past week on Wednesday, St. John's Central A.J. Matthews have learned that, as everyone knows, of course, we're sadly retiring 2 teachers, Mark Han and Bev Foote, the grade 1 and grade 3 teacher. Very, very good teachers are going to be sorely missed, and I wish them every success in their future endeavors. Having said that, St. John's Central A.J. Matthews in my 3-year tenure here have went from 307 students to 224. So that's a loss of about 80 kids, and we fully anticipated that would impact us in some manner. So having said that, St. John's Central is scheduled to lose, St. John's Central A.J. Matthews, 2 teaching units for the fall, and we have 2 teachers retiring. So we're very optimistic, cautiously optimistic, and we're certainly trying to prepare our programs and our teaching assignments with the same high level of programming that we currently offer, and not to negatively impact the school in any manner whatsoever. So we're hoping with some reassignment and realigning of our teaching assignments on staff that we can still offer a full slate of courses with a well-rounded, broad-based education for all the students from K to 12. So while we may have lost 2 units, which is certainly in accordance with the formula and the loss, which most people have probably heard in the budget, 207 teachers are coming from the system this year. We were slated to lose 2 based on those numbers. And but I think that speaking with Ms. Benoit and speaking with the teachers, I think that we'll move forward and try to offer a first-rate education. And I think I can speak rather confidently that we should do okay.
When you say 2 units, is that 2 full-time teachers?
That equals 2 full-time teachers.
So in essence, when 2 teachers retire, there won't be anybody coming back in those, not necessarily those positions, but 2 teachers will not be hired back.
That's right.
Okay.
So two teachers will move out, and they will not. We won't need 2 additional teachers. So
Okay.
hopefully, at the end of the day, all the staff can remain on staff, just realigned, so that the grade 1 position is filled probably internally. The grade 3 position will probably be filled internally.
Okay.
And that way, the same level of programming is there, but just realigned on our staff.
Okay. Now, in the recent budget, there was some talk about lengthening the school day. Does that affect our, obviously it must, in some way.
That's a very good point. As it stands now, as sure everybody knows, especially parents who have kids in grades 1, 2, and 3, our school day for 1, 2, and 3 students, they dismiss early at 2:40. The government has a new initiative, and they're going to change the school day for grades kindergarten right up to grade 1 right up to grade 12. Every student in this province will get 300 minutes of instruction. So that means the school day will be lengthened so that everybody is on par for the same time. So if you're in grade 1 or you're in grade 6 or grade 9 or grade 12, everybody's in school for the same 300-minute period. Or as it turns out in our school, we have 60-minute periods, which works out to 5 60-minute periods.
So they come in school at
The same time at 8:40.
8:40, and they leave at 3:10.
At 3:10, and everybody will be
And
on the same
everybody's the
schedule
same thing.
next year.
Okay.
So, that I guess that'll probably make everything easy with regard to busing and those kinds of things. So, that everybody will be on the exact same schedule. And it's an initiative that's going from St. John's to St. Anthony to Maine to Burgeo. It's something that's a province-wide legislation, and it's one that'll be in place for September 2002, this coming September. Yeah, all students will be in school for 5 hours a day.
Okay.
Just for the information of parents.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I would like to thank the community for their ongoing support, and I certainly look forward to further discussions in the future.
Okay, thanks very much for talking with us.
Thank you, Ms. Rose.
Work was scheduled to begin on the Aaron's Iron project on Wednesday of this week. On Wednesday of this week, when the project was supposed to start, the weather was just a little too wet to work outside. However, the project will not start until Monday, April the 15th, due to some administrative problems. The project will be a 10-week period and employ 5 people. These individuals will be responsible for constructing a floating dock, remove and construct a finger pier, and construct an extension to the existing curbing near the shore. We will keep you updated on the progress of this project. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
Come for a good time and we'll sweep you off your feet with jigs and reels and festivals and the world's most friendly folk. Dance your cares away at the Kelligrew Soiree. Imagine that.
Earlier this week, we received a letter from the National Defense Headquarters in Ottawa asking for our support. In a letter from G. Chappell, Project Director, he asked if we would help inform Canadians of their entitlement to be awarded the Canadian Peacekeeping Service Medal by the Government of Canada. This medal is issued under the authority of Her Excellency the Governor-General of Canada. The purpose of this medal is to recognize the service Canada's peacekeepers have rendered to our country and international community. Because Canada's involvement in the United Nations and international peacekeeping operations dated back to 1948, it is estimated that there are nearly 60,000 Canadians who are still eligible for this medal but have not applied. This prestigious medal is being awarded to eligible Canadian citizens who have served with the United Nations or international peacekeeping or observer mission for a minimum of 30 days. An application form is available by phoning the project's office at their toll-free number 1-877-741-8333 or 613-990-446. Or you may write to the Canadian Peacekeeping Service Middle, Building 347, Upland Site, 101 Colonial Boy Drive, Ottawa, Ontario. Or you can contact our office at 886-2935 for the information. Last year, the ELP Committee sponsored Who Wants to Win $50. This year, they have decided to do it again. On Tuesday, we will be taping the program in our BBS studio. It will be shown on Community Channel 10 on the following night. That is Wednesday, April the 17th, after the RBP TV Bingo. The contest is open to anyone 14 years of age or older, enjoys the challenge, and would like the opportunity to win $50. If this sounds like you, call Ada Vatcher at 886-2294 to sign up. Our very own Ron Caldwell has agreed to be host and moderator. The Help Committee hopes to make this an annual event. Don't forget, tune in to Community Channel 10 on Wednesday, April the 17th after TV Bingo for the second annual Who Wants to Win $50. On Friday of this week, high school students took part in their annual 30-hour famine. The famine began at 8 a.m. on Friday morning and will conclude on Saturday at 2 p.m. The event is sponsored by the Student Council. Approximately 59 students took part in the event. When the students came to school on Friday morning, they weren't allowed to leave until 2 p.m. on Saturday. The Student Council arranged to have parent chaperones for the event. The 30 hours is divided up into shifts. The students came with sleeping bags, pillows, and any other comforts they wanted to bring. Each hour, the students are encouraged to drink juice, which has been donated. During the 30 hours, the students pass the time by doing a number of things. For example, they play cards, video games, read books, watch TV, or just chat with their friends. We congratulate the students on taking this responsibility, not only in helping promote world hunger, but doing something about it. Congratulations. Stay with us for Off the Rack, the community events, and the BBS Playbill, all after this.
There's gannets and puffins, kittiwakes and murres, guillemots, petrels and owls. And you can see where the eagle has landed. Imagine that.
Off the Rack. This week as we scanned our tape rack, we came across another tape of more trouble with the Burgeo Road. This time, water is the problem. Let's look back to April the 13th, 1997.
The Department of Transportation had to call upon South Coast Construction to try and alleviate the water problem in the Woody Hill area, as well as other areas along Route 480. An excavator was also brought in to help bring the water under control.
Good evening and welcome to the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm Jennifer Marks. The winners of the Sea Cadet TV Bingo were Lisa Durnford and Emmanuel Young. Congratulations to you both. The RBP will be having TV Bingo on Wednesday, April 17th at 7 p.m. There will be one game for $300. Cards are $1 each or 6 for $5 and are available from any member of the RBP and are in most stores around town. Please support the RBP and you can win $300. The Burgeo Public Library are selling tickets on a bid in a bag and a Mother's Day surprise gift. Tickets cost $3 for $2 and are available at the Sears office as well as any library board member. The draw date is Friday, May 10th. The staff at the bank are selling tickets on patio furniture in aid of the Janeway Children's Hospital. Tickets cost $1 each or 3 for $2. The draw date is Friday, June 28th. Please support this worthwhile cause. The Canadian Cancer Society has a toll-free cancer information service. If you have any questions or concerns on cancer prevention, screening, diagnosis, treatment, and support, just call toll-free at 1-888-939-3333. The Canadian Forces Navy Tour Bus will be at the Outreach Employment Services Office in Bourgeois on Monday, May 13th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The tour bus will be manned by 3 Canadian Forces Navy personnel and a CF recruiter who will provide interested residents with information on careers in the Canadian Forces. Everyone is welcome. The VOCM Radio Bingo will end on Saturday, April 27th. There are several prizes to be won each week on Radio Bingo, including one $500 prize, one $1,000 prize, and one $1,500 prize, and a minimum consolation prize of $2,500. If the jackpot is not won before April 13th, it will have to go on Saturday, April 27th. You could win $8,150. Get your cards today and play VOCM Radio Bingo and help support our local Lions Club. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we will be happy to advertise it for you. Just call the BBS office by Wednesdays of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday by playing RBP TV Bingo. Following the bingo, we will have Who Wants to Win $50. Join Pansy and the gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night and God bless.